Hey everyone, it's time for another edition of Sunday Storytime. I have a very awesome guest with me today. This is Vagar, and Vagar is a frilled dragon, or a frilled lizard, or a frilled neck lizard, whichever name you prefer to call them. Now this one specifically is a New Guinea frilled dragon because they come from both Papua New Guinea and from Northern Australia. So normally the way you can tell the difference between them is actually some of the markings and the colorization on them. So you see that there's kind of like this pale kind of orangish pink color back here. This is one of the determinations that tell us that this is a New Guinea frilled dragon, whereas if it were an Australian, it'd be much darker, more like a really dark orange or a dark red. Sometimes there's some size discrepancies between the two of them as well, and depending on which regions they come from in both New Guinea or Australia, you can see a little bit of like different markings on the striations across their back, like some darker grays, some darker blacks, and maybe some brighter whites. But again, all those really kind of like depend on exactly where you are finding these guys. Now, they are a really cool animal. These guys are primarily arboreal. Oh, you got some dirt stuck on the front of your face. Meaning that they spend the majority of their life up in trees. They really don't come down except if they are going to be grabbing food or if the female is going to be laying eggs. So they have really long claws and they have an exceptionally long tail. These guys can get close to 3 feet with about 2/3 of it being the tail, and because they're arboreal, the tail actually helps them with balance. So as they're climbing around, jumping from branch to branch, this acts kind of like as a counterbalance for them, so they can adjust it as they're moving to help gain balance across different limbs and everything. Now, being an omnivore, they're opportunistic. They'll pretty much eat anything that they can find. But for the most part, these guys mainly eat insects, small mammals, birds, and even small lizards. But they'll occasionally eat some fruit and eat some veggie, although that should be very little part of their diet. That should only be about maybe 20 to 30% of the diet. The rest of it should be focused on animal-based protein. A lot of cool features about these guys too is how they get their name, Frilled. So they have this frill that they can stick out. It's attached to the lower jawbone. When they feel threatened, they will go ahead and throw that frill out, and it can sometimes be up to 12 inches in diameter across the head. And when they're really afraid, they'll go ahead and put that frill up, open their mouth and hiss, and make themselves appear larger, much like a cobra, to try to scare an animal off. Another unique feature is that they can also be bipedal, meaning they can run on 2 legs. So when they are really scared, they will frill up, open their mouth and hiss, and then take off running on 2 legs. Very unique among lizards. You don't really see all that often. Their bodies aren't really meant to be up on 2. They're meant to be all across 4. But the guys, they call them bicycle lizards too, because the way their arms move looks like you're spinning a bicycle tire. So these are really unique lizards. They can be very affectionate. They're exceptionally smart. They're actually the 2nd largest or 3rd largest of the agamid family. But being that they're from Australia, I often compare them to bearded dragons. If you've taken care of a bearded dragon, this is like the next level up. As opposed to taking care of a beardy. They need more space, they take a little bit more time to acclimate, a little bit more time to work with, but once you do, you can see that they're absolutely awesome animals there. So, with it being November, we are going to be doing Thanksgiving-themed books all week. And Thanksgiving to me just means being thankful for the things that I have, thankful for this job, thankful for the ability to work with animals such as this frilled dragon, and just all kinds of like the other opportunities we have in life. I think should be thankful for the things that we have around us and the people we have around us. And this store like provides an amazing atmosphere for people. So always thankful for that. Now Thanksgiving food-wise gets focused around turkeys. We don't have turkeys, so I can't really do a story on turkeys. And I don't really want to use one of our birds for thinking, oh yeah, like this bird is just like a turkey. So the frilled dragon was, I think, a pretty good option. So we're going to read a Thanksgiving comedy, Turk and Runt. The story is by Lisa Wheeler and the picture is by Frank Ansley. So here we get going with Vagar. I'm going to go ahead and put you on my shoulder, and we're going to read Turk and Runt. Turk's parents were so proud of him. He was the biggest, strongest, and most graceful bird on Wishbone Farm. He's a dancer, said his mother. He's an athlete, said his father. He's a goner, said his brother Runt. But no one ever listened to Runt. Every year, the farm animals looked forward to the excitement of autumn. Carloads of people came to pick red, ripe apples from the orchard in September. Folks arrived to choose plump orange pumpkins from the field in October. And come November, it was turkey time. And one by one, the fattest, roundest turkeys were chosen. Chosen for what? Asked Turk. To be the lead dancer in Swan Lake, said his mother. To play in the Thanksgiving Day football game, said his father. To be roasted and gently basted, said his brother Runt. But no one ever listened to Runt. So every morning in November, the family watched Turk practice his dance steps. 1, 2, 3, lift. And every afternoon, the family watched Turk practice his football moves. 16, 23, 47, hike. He's getting stronger, said his mother. He's getting bigger, said his father. He's getting juicier, said Runt. Two days before Thanksgiving, Madame Waddell, the famous ballet instructor, arrived at Fishbone Farm. She came to choose a turkey. An audition, Mother squealed. It's your time to shine. Get out there and shake those tail feathers. Turk gracefully danced to the front of the barnyard. He leaped, he spun, he twirled and whirled. He did a triple somersault and landed in a split. Look at the size of those drumsticks, said Madame Waddell. That is a beautiful bird. Mother beamed. Father puffed out feathers with pride. Runt puffed out his feathers too. Then he threw himself on the ground. He flapped, he flopped, he hissed and sputtered. He gobbled like a maniac as he chased Madame Waddell out of the barnyard. Sacre bleu, screamed Madame Waddell. The birds are crazy. Then she drove far, far away from Wishbone Farm. No Swan Lake, cried Mother. No starring roll, cried Father. No roasted turkey with chestnut dressing, cried Runt. Hooray! But no one ever listened to Runt. The day before Thanksgiving, Coach Giblet of the Crow City Corn Shuckers came to pick out a turkey. This is your big chance, said Father. Get out there and strut your stuff. Turk sprinted to the front of the barnyard. He bobbed, he weaved, he tackled and dived. He mowed down every turkey who got in his way. That's one healthy-looking bird, said Coach Giblet. One of the biggest and best for my team. Father grinned proudly. Mother got tears in her eyes. Runt got tears in his eyes, too. Then his beak began to drip. He coughed, he wheezed, he sniffled and sneezed. He fell to the ground in a hacking fit of quivering feathers. Good gravy, shouted the coach as he hopped back onto the team bus. These are very sick birds. The corn shuckers deserve better. Then he sped far, far away from Wishbone Farm. No football contract, cried Father. No TV commercials, cried Mother. No Turk sandwich with cranberry sauce, cried Runt. Hooray! But no one ever listened to Runt. It was Thanksgiving morning. Turk's family heard the put-put-put of a little old car. Out of the car climbed a little old lady. Maybe she's a little old for a talent scout, said Father. Maybe she's a little old dance instructor, said Mother. I hope she's a little old vegetarian, said Runt. Mother and Father pushed Turk to the front of the barnyard. Show her what you've got. But before Turk could perform even one pirouette, the little old lady scooted him aside. Aha, she exclaimed, pointing at Runt. Exactly what I've been looking for. This bird is just the right size for me. What? Cried Mother. Him? Cried Father. Help! Cried Runt. But no one ever listened to Runt, so he ran. He ran behind Father. Don't let her eat me. He ran behind Mother. Hide me, hide me. He ran behind Turk. I'm too young to be basted. Turk saw the look in the little old lady's eyes. He saw the drool on her lips. He saw the fork in the little old lady's pocket. He saw the roasting pan in her back seat. Runt had been right all along. Work with me, Runt, Turk instructed, or your goose is cooked. Turk bobbed and weaved. Runt flapped and drooled. Turk leaped and twirled. Runt coughed and wheezed. Runt gobbled like a maniac while Turk dived down and tackled the little old lady's shoes. "Stuff and nonsense," cried the little old lady, climbing back in her car. "I want to eat these birds if they're last turkeys on earth." That day, as the family feasted on corn and alfalfa, they had much to be thankful for. "I'm thankful we're all together," said Mother. "I'm thankful for 2 brave sons," said Father. "I'm thankful for such a smart brother," said Turk. "We're not out of the woods yet," Runt warned. "Come December, folks begin planning their holiday dinners." "Dinners that include stuffing?" asked Mother. "Dinners that include gravy?" asked Father. "Dinners that include me?" asked Turk. "Over my feathered body," Runt said. "We're not plucked yet. I have a grade A plan." And this time, everyone listened to Runt. The end. Well, I hope you guys had some fun learning all about our new Guinea frill dragon here named Vagar, who's been just awesome through our story time. And I hope you learned a little bit about Turk and Runt and what it's like to be a turkey on Thanksgiving. Although I'll probably still end up eating turkey, I just will try not to imagine that it's either Turk or Runt. So, hope you guys had fun, and we'll see you next week.